Okay. Very cool. So let's jump into the next one. And something that you had just mentioned was Giancarlo Esposito
Mhm.
was talking about he really wants to be in the MCU.
Yeah,
And
man.
people started doing the fan casting already. I really like this pick, whoever made this one right here. This is brought to us by Get Fandom. So, man, we have some dream roles voted by the fandom fans. So
Mhm.
we have Norman Osborn, Doctor Doom, Magneto, Professor X, Kang the Conqueror. Could you see him in either any one of these five, or do you have a separate choice, a pick for him?
No, I think obviously the probably the biggest one that stands out to me is Professor X because he is known for being a villain, right? He's Gus from Breaking Bad. For us Breaking Bad fans out there, he's one of the best TV villains of all time. So
Yeah.
we always look at him as a villain, right? So it will be really cool to see him play a heroic role as a Professor X. Which Professor X and the X-Men crew. I mean, it would be fantastic to see a minority playing a character that, I mean, the basis and the foundation of the X-Men was based around the civil rights. So it'll be really kind of cool to see them play into that more, with minorities and how X-Men are viewed as minorities to the humankind. So I think that would be a really interesting casting choice. And obviously, who would they pick to play? I mean, it would be an older Professor X. Who would they
Mhm.
pick to play an older, Magneto? So I think that would be really, really cool. But as far as if you were to kind of do the normal villain roles that he plays, I think all those would be great. I think Norman Osborn would be the one I would be really excited for because it allows him to play dual characters to a sense where he's playing the billionaire Norman Osborn to the human eye. It's like, oh, this billionaire doing all this tech stuff, but then he has that villainous side where he gets crazy in the serum that he has to make him the Green Goblin. So I think it allows him to play, like I said, two roles versus
Mhm.
all these other roles are just one character. So that would be really, really cool to see him play Norman Osborn for sure.
Yeah, similar to how he plays that character in Breaking Bad or Better Call Saul, where he's kind of in the forefront and he's, shaking hands, kissing babies, right? Where you think he's one guy that runs, Pollos Hermanos, but in the
Yep.
back, he's like the top drug runner, right?
Exactly. So I
So,
think he would
yeah.
that would he would get to flex his acting muscles a lot more playing, like I said, these dual characters. That would be fantastic.
Yeah, very well said. On the flip side, for me, I think Magneto would be a fantastic, just kind of keeping in that villain role,
Mhm.
of Magneto, and someone that was friends with Professor X as well. So huge tie-ins with the X-Men there. I would love to see him as a Magneto, just kind of flex his, I guess, mind manipulate. Like when you look at him, he has a very strong look as far as he can, like you said, play both sides of the coin. You don't know which kind of character he could be certain times of the day, but I believe he can use that to his advantage. And I mean, we see Magneto, he's manipulated so many mutants, right, to
Yeah.
kind of go to the dark side, so to speak. So
Yeah.
I can see him in a mind manipulation role like that, like a Magneto. So I think I would like to see him more in a Magneto role, but it's a very interesting
The thing I'm just thinking about too, and not to touch on his age, but he is an older gentleman. So I think going back to Norman Osborn and kind of like this Tony Stark comparison where they can put a mask on their head and he doesn't have to do these physically active fighting scenes, versus him being the actor at Norman Osborn. He can act for the next 20 years, but him doing the action scenes, they can just have someone under the suit versus seeing Magneto, you see his face, Dr. Doom, you see his face. So they might have to CGI him when he's doing those more physical things versus if he has a mask on, you could just have a stunt coordinator doing those stunts versus seeing maybe some de-aging technology when you can see his face in Magneto and all those other
Mhm.
characters. So,
Yeah, very well said too. I didn't even realize that. Yeah, when it comes to those action scenes, he might not be moving around as swiftly as someone younger
mhm.
for the role. Q said that he thinks he would be awesome for Doctor Doom. So the Doom character, I mean, I could see that as well. Once again, I mean, going with the mask on, mask off type of situation. Sometimes depends how he moves.
Yeah,
So yeah, that's awesome.
choices, great possibilities.